everybody, Geraldine Rose here. Hey, today we're going to look at ways to step up your background panels that you might have made with any Betterpress plates. These are a couple of cards I'm clearing off the hard drive from a color throwdown challenge last year, starting out with the Nina Classic Crest Solar White. I had printed out a bunch of extras from my Spellbinders Cosmos backdrop bundle, the press plate, ready to use whenever I wanted. So I grabbed out my Staedtler watercolor pens and I'm starting to color it here. And as I'm editing this footage together, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the right card. And then as I remembered, oh yes, I did too. I took photos of one and the other, this one, got given away. Basically, they're both the same though. I'm using the same process for both. So I'm watercoloring the flowers first. These watercolors, the Staedtler ones, they did not do too well on this base. And then I discovered that it worked a little bit better if I put it on my side mat first and then brought it to the paper with a water pen. That worked a little bit better rather than the ink directly soaking right into the paper. After that was done for both of them, I got out some of the Lindy's magical powders. I accentuated each in different spots. So for this particular card, I put it in the middle of the flowers. For the other card, I painted the stripes into each of the leaves, and then I did the smaller leaves in orange. Each of them had different colors in the spots that they were located, but they were both following the colors of the throwdown. Tapping on some magical splatters to match up with the dots that this backdrop plate has got in it. Once all those are down, I'm giving a mist over to kind of disperse them out a little bit and to give it even more of a watercolory look. I then grab out the Sizzix, the Abstract Rounds folder, and I'm running that through once it's dry to get some texture on the background. I thought the circles would go well with the spots that this Cosmos backdrop press plate has got all through it. Once that's done, I need to set it down for the size that I want on the card. So typical waffle flowers rectangle die. Did that. I'm setting it down over top of foil, and I did that for both of them. The other one had a lace border edge so that the purple showed through from underneath. I do have a bunch of Québécois, je parle un peu d'eux, friends. We in Canada have two languages, so the Simon Says stamp, the Salut die, I brought that out. Salut is your typical howdy do hello, based from the Latin salus, which means greeting. And you think of to salute someone, salutations, same base. I am deepening it up across the bottom with a little bit more of turquoise ink so that we have an ombre effect happening on the top word portion that's going to go over that light blue vellum that's in the back. I'm putting the shadow layer down on the back so that the vellum is sandwiched in between. Then it'll stick to your base cardstock a little bit better, right? Because as you know, vellum, if you can see the glue from the top, it will have a warped look to the vellum. The top layer of that Salut, I'm dipping in Versamark. I believe I'm going to put clear embossing powder over top of it first. I've discovered that if you just keep multiple layering it, especially with a UT type of embossing powder, that you get a really nice dome effect across the top. So this is the first layer. We're fishing it out of the powder, giving her a tap off, putting it down on my silicone mat, heat embossing it. Back in for layer number 2. This is the UT that I'm using next after we turn her over and get Versamark back on the front again. Versamark is one thing that it's one of the few things that I don't like the feel of it on my fingers. That's why I use my reverse tweezers for pressing whatever sentiment I'm using into it. So there's the UT going down. This is layer number 2 with the heat embossing. And it's starting to look nice. I think I want to go a little bit more for it. So we're going to go for another layer. Here we are. Again, Versamark on the front. Tapping her on there, putting her down over top of your paper, your coffee filter, or whatever it is that you use to catch your powder for the ones that you don't actually have a little tub for. So there's some more UT over the top. Heating it again. The second and third times that you heat it, it seems to melt into the other layers below it. So you've got to move quickly with it. You'll notice that when you start using it yourself too. Now that this has cooled down, I have attached it to the sentiment there. I'm masking off this middle portion because I know that this is where I want to put my sentiment strip, and I didn't want any of this embossing paste to get down across the back. I believe that was the Simon Says Stamp Fading Heart stencil. I've put a little cascade down through the middle of that panel. Then I'm bringing in some of the sparkle, the snowflake embossing paste, and I'm mixing some embossing glazing with it so that it colors it orange. And that's the one I'm running through the All and Create the Lots of Dots stencil. And you just do it really randomly so that you get, of course, that mixed media, just very erratic, very random kind of artwork across there. And it will tie in on both cards with the dots that the Cosmos backdrop panel has through it. When that snowfall grit paste dries, depending on what color that you've added into it, it's going to give you a really nice, shiny, like diamond-like effect. This is the tip that Jennifer McGuire passed on to all of us about how to cut out your sentiment strips so that it's easier for you to see where you're lining up with your guillotine trimmer. These are one of the packages of the reverse sentiment strips from Simon Says Stamp. I think they were the Good Luck. It was something along that name. And they had a Bon Chance in there. Although this is Bonne Chance, and technically it's not right. It's masculine. It's actually supposed to be feminine. It's supposed to be Bonne Chance. Good luck in Quebecois French that we have up here. But it will do. It will do. If you tuck it under a paper, you can actually align it better with where you want to cut it. Once you get these reverse strips cut out, take an artist marker or a fine liner and color around black around the outside because they've got a white core. They don't have the black core. Getting that aligned underneath our greeting there. Now the inside, close to my heart, you are my sunshine. So I just want a nice bright sentiment on the inside. Each of them I did in different colors. I think this one was done in purple and the other card was done in a beautiful turquoise, the aqua. Setting the stamp up in the middle. This is one of the solid ones. So the solid part is going to come out colored, and then your words are the ones that are going to be white from the back of the cardstock. So you don't want to press too hard, otherwise you totally lose the detail that's in the letters. This was before the stage of me pretty much putting in some kind of other accent on all my cards with a flower or a die cut, something else down in the bottom left or right hand corners. Wiping it off, I just went in with just one of the accent lines that was underneath for it next. There we are. I decided it still needed something else. I like it better what many of us do now, doing the complete set. The inside with a matching flower or whatever else stamp that you've got from the front, plus the envelope. Custom stamp on the back. Back to the front. You can see the matting of the foil that I had there, that I got cut out the middle portion. And it's because foil, that particular foil does not actually stick very well to paper. So I wanted to make certain I had one portion that really would stick well, which is the center cardstock. All right. So this one, I as well cut out some leaves in a copper orange. That is the finished card. This technique will work for both cards. Have fun with it. I'm working on getting all the other hard drive backlog cleared up too, and we'll get some more videos out to you. You guys all be that change you want to see in the world. Thanks so much for watching this one. All right, bye-bye.